So hello everyone. Today we have another question of the mashup contest 98. The problem 4 of this question is SLOOP. This is the beginner level question. Here the question reads that a person is a fan of Coldplay. He takes 10 minutes to reach a place, and in this whole time he plays a single song on the loop which is S minutes long. So we have to find out the number of times this song will play completely. Since the word completely is written, it means even if the song is 75% completed, we'll take the number of plays as one time less. That is the last time the song was completely played. Now, here in the input, there are two lines of input. The first is the integer t, which is the number of test cases, that is the number of times this whole code we write will run. And the second line contains two integers, which m and s, in which m denotes the duration of the journey and s denotes the duration of the song, both in minutes. Now for each test case, in the output you have to print the number of times the song is completely played. Now let's go to the coding ID. Here, as you can see, we have used C++14 as our solving platform. We've used the iOS stream library to solve this question, and the namespace std as our namespace. Now, we have first initialized an integer t, which is the number of test cases, and taken the number of test cases from the user. Then we have looped it using the while loop so that the number of test cases are completed and no test case is left, and the output no test case is left. Like if we do not use this while loop while doing this while executing the inside parameters, the code will stop after running one test case and the other test cases will not be run. So we are using this while loop to run the test cases. Then we've initialized two integers m and s with which m is the length of the journey, s is the length of the song. Then we have taken the input of m and s from the user. Then we have a single line of output, which is m divided by s, and which is ended by an end line syntax, so that the output of the subsequent test cases are shown on the new lines. Here, when we run the custom input from the question given, we find the output to be 210, which is matching with the sample output. Now, many may have the question that 10 divided by 6 is not equal to 1. But let's get back to the question. Here it is written that how many times he will play the song completely. Since completely is written, so we have to find the number of times 6 divides 10. So 6 divides 6, 1 is 6, which means 4 minutes will be left. Then that 4 minutes, the song, which is the duration 6 minutes, will not be completed. So the output comes out to be 1. Similarly, in the case 9 and 10, the 10-minute song will not be finished in 9 minutes, so the output will be 0. Now, in case some of you wanted to know that how much percent of the song can be played in this given time, and if the question did not have the word completely, we could also find how much portion of the coming song would be played in this time. Then we have to use the word double while initializing m and s, or float initializing m and s, so that the decimal points come, and so from the decimal points we can find the time of the song, or the period of the song that is played during the following time. That will be the topic of another question. Now we will submit this question to see whether our code matches with all the restrictions and parameters of this question. And as you can see, the answer is stated to be correct since it matches all parameters. Now, many of you may be thinking, what are these constraints and why we are not taking them into consideration? Now, these constraints come into another topic, which is time complexity and code size, which is beyond the scope of the discussion at this point. If you wish to know what is the reason of these constraints, then you can see here as the memory, which is 5.348 kilobytes. But this memory, in some questions of our higher levels, we will see that this memory is restricted, and so we have to make our code accordingly so that the memory limit is not exceeded. That is beyond the scope of our discussion at this point. So this is all for this question of the problem code SLOOP. We will meet next time with another question. Thank you.